My name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I want to do is I made a video yesterday talking about how people are changing their stories now over as the years go by after I came out with my research and stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a recording that one of my friends sent me. He pieced it together and he says, listen to this. And in this recording, was actually from interviews. The first one you're going to hear is, excuse me, Jack O'Halloran from his doing his research on JFK and all this stuff. Jack O'Halloran is actually an ex-boxer. He also played in the Superman movies, the original ones with Christopher Reeves. But anyway, you're going to hear him first, and he's going to talk about the 13 shots, flying around Mr. Zapruder. Then you're going to hear part of the interview from Robert Groden, where he starts talking about, what he's found or whatever, they're good researchers, don't get me wrong. All of them is good researchers. I give them credit because, a lot of information wouldn't be out if it wasn't for them, and they do struggle a lot. So, I give everybody in the JFK, even though we don't agree upon a lot of stuff, I still give them credit because they are good researchers, and I do give all of them good, great credit. I will never say nothing bad about any of them. That's even in the Bigfoot world as well. When I do research on that or any other research on like Noah's Ark and all the other ones. But anyway, in this video here, we're going to hear Jack O'Halloran first, and then we're going to hear Robert Groden talking. Then we're going to hear somebody called Redneck Research, I think is, this interview from, because it was like, he's got a video on YouTube and stuff, and he talks about the Bear Mormon photo and, about zooming in and finding, seeing a gunman in the same location that I got. Basically, when he's talking, because at the very end, he sits there and says, no, besides him, is one other person that has that information, and that's the person that he stole the information from. Well, that person is me. He took the information from me about the Mormon photo, colorizing and everything else. But let's go ahead and listen to it. And I want to show you that things do change.
And then you got a guy called Zapruder who never had a camera in his hand before in his life and suffered from vertigo, and he had to stand up high, so they were holding him by the leg. And all these gunshots going off around him. 13 shots were fired that day, and he never took his finger off the camera.
Yeah,
Okay, and I'm gonna stop there because that's that part of from his interview. That's what I'm saying. No one's ever talked about 13 shots except for me. And I'm the one who brought up 13 shots and stuff. And over the years, if you go back and you start dating, and you'll find out that a lot of these new claims and all these new information's coming out was after the fact that I, came out with it. Because I started coming out with this information in 2008 when I started bringing this new information out. A little out of time, not a lot out of time, a little out of time. But as like I said, they're starting to say this and starting to say that, just like we're going to hear next part we're going to hear is Robert Groden, where he's going to talk about JFK being shot 4 times, which I claim JFK was shot 4 times, but he claims they're in different locations, which you're going to hear. I claim 3 shots in the head and 1 in the back. You also hear him talk about the shots to the windshield and the chrome of the windshield and, distraction shots, but he don't call them distraction shots, but he calls them miss shots. But when my friend said he heard these and stuff, he says, this sounds so much similar to your research. Now, I'm not saying that, like I said, I'm not saying that any researcher is out there stealing my stuff or anything else like that. But it's just, I have people putting comments on my stuff saying I'm way off and all this and all that. But you look at these other researchers, they're coming out with the same thing now that I've already came out with, but now they're coming out with it. Okay, now I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying that they took it from me or anything else. I'm just saying that there's a lot of similarities now how this research is going, okay, because they're all coming up with almost the same claims now that fits my research. So I was just, like I said, I'm just making this video so people can understand that I'm not the only one that's coming out saying this and saying that. There's other people as well. But here now we're going to listen to Robert Groden.
The president was hit 4 times. He was hit in the right in the throat. He was hit in the back, 6 inches below the shoulder line. He was hit in the right temporal area. That's the shot that killed him. And then he was hit a second time in the head just above the hairline. During the middle of all these shots, Governor Connolly was hit 3 times. He was hit in the right shoulder by the armpit. He was hit in the right wrist, and he was hit in the left thigh. That's a total of 7 shots between the 2 men, and that doesn't count all the other shots that missed. Now, one of the shots that missed hit a bystander named James Tague on his cheek. A bullet struck the chrome over the windshield in the president's car. Another one hit the windshield itself. One hit the sidewalk on the north side of Elm Street. Another one hit a small section of cement around a storm drain on the south side of Elm Street. Another one hit the street much farther up to the east, and so on and so on. If you count them all together, there is certainly between 12 and 15 shots fired.
Okay, now that was Robert Groden. Now, as I pointed out, like I said, a lot of similarities. Yes, there is a lot of similarities. I claim Governor Connolly got shot twice, one in the back and then one in the right side, which is basically almost the same locations that he's pointing out. JFK, which I said, 3 shots to the head, 1 in the back, 2 in the back and then 1 in the right side, and 1 bullet in his back, lower, his upper back, and a bullet exited his throat. I also talk about the chrome of the windshield in between the sun visors, and then the bullet striking the windshield on the inside, not the outside, on the inside of the windshield. The manhole cover, which the drainage one, he's claiming, 1 shot there, but there was actually 2 shots there. The shot to the, sidewalk there, that was actually by the steps where 3 men were standing. So, there's a lot of similarities there between my research and his research. But, what I do is I show what I'm talking about. I show the evidence, but like the chrome was shot when the bullet exited JFK's throat. When the bullet struck JFK in the back, the bullet exited his throat, past Governor Connolly's head, struck the chrome between the sun visors. Then the other shot that hit the inside windshield struck JFK in the back after his head exploded, but it passed through and hit inside the windshield. And the manhole cover, there was actually 2 shots that hit there, which I showed in the Zapruder film. 1 on the side, and then 1 up on the top corner. But also show a couple extra shots to the grass area where 2 bullets, struck, and then this on the sign on the lamppost, and then James Tague's location. Bullet didn't strike him. Actually, the bullet hit the curb, and a piece of curb came up and struck him in the face. But that was Robert Groden. Now, this last part here is from Redneck Research, and you're going to hear what he had to say, and then we'll finish up on this video here.
The evidence that nobody really points to is a Mormon photograph, and if you look at the Mormon photograph, it's been done forever. I get these JFK things all the time on YouTube, but I found somebody who had done some work on analyzing this, at least the Mormon photograph, colorizing it and all this other. And I thought, well, why don't I just go ahead and look at this photograph myself? I've done it from every other position, even where the smoke slowly came out from down near the bridge, the railroad bridge. I said, well, why don't I just try that? And then I started looking at it, and lo and behold, after you blow it up about 1,000%, you can see 2 shooters, or at least a spotter and a shooter in this photograph, but they're closer to Abraham Zapruder, basically behind Abraham Zapruder, who was the guy who took the infamous Zapruder headshot film, or the film of President Kennedy getting shot Now, the lineup from where these men are supposedly shooting from that window and the other guy peering around the corner exactly matches up to the hit in the side of the head. What was described by witnesses and what his reaction is from both the Orville Nix film. You can see the lineups that I'll show with. There's only one other guy that I know of.
Here it is. Listen.
And that's where I stole all this information from. There's only one other guy that I know of. And that's where I stole all this information from.
So see, our reason, like I said, I want to point this out and let people hear for themselves is because of pure simple fact is this. They want to come down and say bad things about my research and everything else. But there's actually other people out there are making these same claims that I'm making now. And that's why I said, a lot of people want to say bad things about research stuff, but I find my research to be very important because of the simple fact that, now everybody's getting down to where they're really analyzing these films and images and are actually finding this stuff now. And I think I've done a great job. I'm not trying to say I'm a great researcher or anything else, or I'm a better researcher than anybody else, because I don't believe nobody is better than somebody else. But it's just, I am proud of the work I've done, because at least now a lot of questions can be answered to now, because the pure simple fact of it is now these researchers are taking it a little bit more seriously. And they're trying to piece it together, which I've already pieced it all together. I know exactly what happened that day. But, now they're changing their stories. Now they're, getting more into detail. Now they're more of, what really did happen, So, I think I've done pretty well. And I just want, like I said, I want to make this video. And I know there's a lot of naysayers out there. There's a lot of people. I mean, I made 3 videos yesterday. Post on there. We got already a dislike on them, and if, some comments, call me idiot and everything else. But think about this. I'm not the only ones now. I've been saying it ever since I started this research on this, but now other researchers are making almost similarities in their research as mine. So just think about that the next time you want to make bad, to those who wants to make bad comments and stuff, because it's not only me saying it, but now there's others are saying it. So I'd like to thank you, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. I'm going to try and make about 3 more videos so I can have 4 uploaded today. Some great stuff coming. Next video I'm going to make is about the recording, the police recording, which I'm going to play the whole thing. It's only 8 seconds long or so. I mean, 8 minutes long, but I'm going to play the whole thing, and I'm going to explain about that recording. So again, don't forget to subscribe. Give us the like button. Tell your friends about us, and have a good day. Excuse me.